The flashing red and blue lights sliced through the darkness, bouncing off the glassy surface of the rain-soaked highway. Dr. Isaiah Cole's hands tightened on the steering wheel. He was used to pressure. He had performed open-heart surgeries with lives hanging by a thread. But this moment, this flashing chaos behind him, always carried a different kind of tension. He eased his Tesla to the shoulder. The hum of the car fell silent. Wipers thudded slowly across the windshield, sweeping the storm into nervous rhythm. A police cruiser skidded to a stop behind him, splashing a sheet of water forward. Then came the door slam, boots against asphalt, the unmistakable metallic click of a holster being loosened. Isaiah's reflection in the mirror caught the officer's approach. A white man in his late 30s, stocky build, jaw clenched tight, and hand hovering near his gun. The doctor lowered his window halfway. He was calm, deliberate, like a man rehearsing how not to be a threat. "Evening, officer," he said quietly. "Is there a problem?" The cop's flashlight cut through the rain, blinding him. "License and registration," the officer barked. Isaiah reached slowly toward the dashboard compartment. "It's in the glove box. I'm reaching for it now." The cop's voice was sharp. "Quick. Keep your hands where I can see them." Isaiah froze, both palms raised. "You asked for my..." "I said keep your hands up." The situation escalated in seconds. The rain's rhythm grew faster, louder. A low rumble of thunder rolled through the dark, as though nature itself were holding its breath. Then, the doctor said something that made the cop stop dead in his tracks. "Officer," Isaiah said, calm but firm, "before you do anything, you might want to look at what's in the passenger seat." The officer's flashlight drifted left. And there, slumped in the passenger seat, was a white teenage boy, barely 16, blood streaking down his sleeve, a tourniquet tied tight around his arm. The boy groaned softly. "Stay with me, kid," Isaiah whispered. "You're going to be okay." The cop blinked, confused. "What the hell happened here?" "I found him on the road," Isaiah said quickly. "Car accident a few miles back. He was bleeding out. I couldn't just leave him. I'm taking him to County ER." The officer's tone shifted, but pride still clung to his posture. "Step out of the vehicle. Officer, with all due respect, this boy doesn't have time for this." But the cop raised his voice, hand twitching toward his gun again. "Step of the vehicle." Isaiah hesitated, then did as ordered, stepping into the rain, his white dress shirt clinging to his chest, his ID badge swinging from his neck. The word doctor was printed in bold beneath his photo. Still, the cop frisked him roughly. Another groan from the car made them both turn. The boy was fading fast. "Please," Isaiah said, his voice breaking now. "He's going into shock. If you want to feel like a hero tonight, help me save him. Not handcuff me." That one sentence stopped the officer cold. He looked at the boy, pale, trembling, lips turning blue. Then back at Isaiah, who was drenched and shivering, his hands still raised. The rain drowned out their silence. Finally, the cop exhaled, stepped back and said, "Go." Isaiah sprinted to the car, slammed the door, and peeled off into the storm. The emergency room lights were blindingly bright when Isaiah burst through the double doors. Nurses scattered to prepare a trauma bay. 16-year-old male, laceration to the brachial artery, he shouted, already wheeling the gurney inside. The charge nurse blinked. "Dr. Cole? You're supposed to be off shift." "No time. Clamp kit now." Within minutes, he had stabilized the boy, sutured the artery, and started fluids. His hands never trembled once. When the chaos settled, the doctor stood silently by the bedside. The boy's color was returning. Machines beeped steadily. Isaiah closed his eyes and exhaled deeply until he heard footsteps. The officer was there. Same one from the road. Rain still on his jacket, eyes wide with guilt. "Doctor," the cop began, but the words wouldn't come. Isaiah turned slowly, exhaustion painted across his face. "You almost killed me," he said quietly, "while I was saving someone like you." The officer swallowed hard. I didn't know." "That's the problem," Isaiah replied. You never do. Days later, the video hit the internet. A nearby gas station's security camera had caught everything. The flashing lights, the shouting, the moment Isaiah raised his hands, and the cop's hand on his gun. Millions watched it. Hashtags flooded social media. Hashtag justice for Dr. Cole. Hashtag not a suspect. Hashtag black while saving lives. The local news picked it up. Then national outlets. Within a week, the story had sparked protests and a deep investigation into police profiling in the county. The police department tried to spin it. They said the officer followed procedure. But the truth had already spread. The image of a black doctor, hands raised in the rain, saving a child while being treated like a criminal, was burned into the nation's memory. 2 months later, the courtroom was packed. Cameras lined the aisles. Protesters stood outside holding signs that read, "Doctors deserve dignity," and "Hands up, scrubs up." Inside, Officer Daniel Reeves, the same man who had stopped Dr. Cole, sat rigid at the defense table. His uniform replaced by a suit, his face pale and drained. Across from him sat Dr. Isaiah Cole, wearing the same calm expression he had that night, but his eyes now carried something sharper. Resolve. The judge entered. "All rise." Isaiah's attorney stood. "Your Honor, the evidence speaks for itself. Officer Reeves racially profiled my client, detained him at gunpoint, and delayed life-saving medical care. All because he saw color before character." The defense tried to object, but the crowd murmured in agreement. Then came the twist no one saw coming. The teenage boy, Ethan Miller, was called to the stand. Pale, still healing, but determined. "Dr. Cole saved my life," Ethan said, his voice trembling. "I crashed my car. I was bleeding out. He pulled me from the wreck, tied a shirt around my arm, and got me here. If that cop had stopped him any longer, I'd be dead." The courtroom was silent. Even the officer's attorney lowered his gaze. The judge leaned forward. "Officer Reeves, would you like to say anything before I pass judgment?" Reeves stood, his hands shaking. "I made assumptions. Wrong ones. I let fear guide me instead of reason. I owe Dr. Cole an apology, and this community the truth. I profiled him because of his skin, and that's something I'll regret for the rest of my life." Gasps rippled through the gallery. Dr. Cole didn't move. He just nodded once. A small gesture of forgiveness that carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. The judge's gavel hit the desk. "Officer Reeves, you are hereby suspended without pay and sentenced to community service under the hospital's outreach program." Reporting directly to Dr. Cole. The room erupted, some in disbelief, some in applause. Weeks later, a new video went viral. Officer Reeves, in plain clothes, standing next to Dr. Cole in a mobile clinic, helping vaccinate underprivileged children. The caption read, "Redemption starts when you finally see who someone really is." In the final moments, as the sun set over the city, Dr. Cole packed up his medical kit and looked out at the line of people still waiting. His phone buzzed. A notification from YouTube. A clip of his courtroom moment had just hit 1 million views. He smiled softly. "Maybe," he whispered, "people are finally watching for the right reasons." Then he turned to the next patient and said gently, "How can I help you today?" If the story moved you, hit subscribe. Every view helps shine a light on the truth we can't afford to ignore. Because stories like this aren't just fiction. They're reflection. And we're uncovering them one truth at a time.